successful. Hey guys, DemonDriver here. I want to talk to you guys today about the top 5 tips that are going to help your maiden flight be successful when you maiden your ARF, scratch built, whatever, ready to fly, your kit, any RC airplane you have that you've never flown before, your first time flying that particular plane, what's called as the maiden flight. This video is 5 helpful tips that I've learned over the years of being in this hobby since about 1983 on and off for damn near over almost 40 years now. I've been in this hobby for a long time, and I've learned a few things. 13 years here on YouTube and countless maiden flights here, and you know, if you watch this channel you can see a lot of maiden flights. It's a lot of time in the hobby maidening airplanes. I've maidened over 100 scratch build airplanes, and I probably maidened another 200-300 ARFs and kits and ready to flies. So I've been there, done that. Some work, some don't, but the thing is, I've learned some things over that, so I hope that my ideas and my tips help you. So these are my top 5 tips to help you with your maiden flight. No matter what you're trying to fly, the maiden flight, this video is for you. All right, number 5, let's do a countdown. Number 5, make sure that you have a good place to maiden from, a good RC field or somewhere safe or somewhere very adequate and basically supportive of flying an RC airplane. Here at CRCS in Ridgeville, South Carolina, we have a nice geotex runway, and that's really helpful to maiden an RC airplane. These close trees, not so much, but this is a beautiful RC airfield, and I'm very lucky to be a member here and have the ability to fly here. And so it's very important to either have very shortly cut grass or have maybe concrete or asphalt or a geotex runway like this to maiden from. It makes life easier. It really does. So 5 is make sure that you have, or tip number 5 is make sure you have an adequate place to fly from. All right, number 4. What's number 4? Always make sure that you pre-flight your RC airplane before you get here. All right? Test and mix your radio, test the airplane, test your retracts, test the EDF, test your props, test your batteries, test your exponential and your DR, and all of your mixing. Do everything. Get your radio right, get the plane right, taxi test it. Do all the things at home, okay? Do all those things at home, okay? On the driveway, in the shed, in the backyard, on the kitchen table before you come here. Okay, pre-flighting here is you shouldn't do that here. So it's a big tip to make sure you do your pre-flighting with your RC airplane before you maiden it at home. Get all the bugs out at home, and then obviously don't fly it at home, but get all the bugs out as if you're gonna fly it. Look at everything. Just check the plane over and make sure it's right before you come here. Because you don't want to learn about mistakes here that you could have corrected at home. All right, it saves you a lot of time and a lot of anguish and agony. Okay. Number 3, and that is your CG, lateral and longitudinal. Okay, so from port to starboard wings, that's important to get your CG in that area, but also from bow to stern, from your nose to your tail. Make sure you establish your CG and get that correct before you come to the flight field. Having a properly CG'd RC airplane is so crucial to maidening it and having a successful maiden flight. It's almost impossible to underestimate how important that is, or to stress how important that is. Because again, if a plane is tail heavy, you're going to rotate and the plane is just going to wallow. It's going to do this. I've done it. I've had it happen so many times. It's very frustrating. And if you're way too nose heavy, your plane might rotate, but you won't be able to climb. You'll rotate out and you'll just see, like, I can't climb. The elevators aren't doing anything. Now, it's a very nose heavy airplane. And in some cases, if it's incredibly nose heavy, you'll never rotate. You'll get to V1 and then VR, the plane will go off the end of the runway. So it's always good to have a plane that is slightly nose heavy, a little bit nose heavy. That's good, okay? That's good. You want that. but too nose heavy, no good. Too tail heavy, you got a nightmare on your hands. I'm not lying to you. Number 2, what's the number 2 tip? Another big thing is weather. Weather. The weather, okay? Don't maiden in rain. Don't maiden in incredibly bad gusty winds, okay? I dodged a bullet with the Lufthansa A300 Maiden a few weeks ago. I dodged a bullet. It was nice, sunny weather. It was warm, but it was gusty. Gusty wind, gusting at 25 miles per hour. The great Brad, I call Sky King, warned me. He said, Chris, it's going to be gusty. And I said, well, you know, the weather prediction here in South Carolina is always kind of, so I thought, you know, but we get out there and it's gusty like this, wind. And I dodged a bullet, okay? Learn from my almost losing that plane and maiden in low winds, okay? Nothing over 7 knots, period, okay? All right. Another thing is maiden. This is just an addition to, let's say, number 2. Maiden and take off into the wind. Into the wind. If you see the windsock going one way, you're taking off in the opposite direction into the wind, okay? Wings work because air molecules go over them, and the more air is rushing over them as you get up to V1 and VR, you have a better chance of flying, okay? Important. And another thing also is having a light RC airplane, okay? Going with 2600 milliamp or 3000 milliamp batteries is going to make a lighter RC airplane than one maidening with 5000 or 6000 milliamp batteries. Think about that. Think about that carefully before you maiden. And the number 1 tip of all, number 1 tip, is enjoy yourself. Have a good time. This is a hobby. Come out here to the flight field and just have a good time. All right? Don't burden yourself with too much stress and drive yourself crazy and get driven sick by your maiden jitters and the butterflies and the nerves. At the end of the day, this is a hobby. You got to come out here and enjoy yourself. Whether you're maidening anything, you got to really just enjoy yourself. Enjoy this hobby, enjoy aviation, and that's the number 1 tip. No matter what you do, make sure that you're enjoying yourself. Make sure you're having a good time, okay? Don't let this hobby be a burden on you. Make sure that you enjoy it while you do it and you have a good time. That's the number 1 tip from DemonDriver. All right, guys, DemonDriver here. I hope that my tips, my 5 tips about your maiden flight helps you. I hope it helps you on your maiden flight with whatever you have, okay? That's a big thing, big thing. So enjoy the hobby, enjoy your maiden flight. I wish you success. I hope you have a good maiden flight. And talking about maiden flights, I will be back out at the flight field soon, maidening another RC airliner or RC something before you know it. This is DemonDriver. As always, my friends, it's always an honor to have you guys here. God bless, take care, and happy maiden flights.